As someone that's lived and breathed Android for the past 15 years, I've seen a ton of apps come and go, but I don't think a lot of people realize some of Google's very best Android apps are still around, often overlooked by the community or simply just forgotten about, which is a genuine shame because all of them are still super useful and they're all free, might I add. No crazy in-app purchases, no subscriptions, no ads, just a truly helpful app experience with no strings attached right from the minds of Google. So, as a longtime Android enthusiast, I want to put some of the spotlight back on some of these underrated Google apps as they're all still incredibly valuable today. And trust me, you're definitely gonna want to stick around until the end for this one. And the first app I need to talk about that actually inspired this list is Snapseed. For those who don't know, Snapseed is a super simple photo editor that can work offline, has no ads, is completely free, and the main angle here is to offer a comprehensive toolset of somewhat professional grade features without being overly complex or too hard to understand. Now, as an Android user, I'm trying to stay calm here as they did just get a huge overhaul on iOS instead of Android for some reason that changed a lot. I actually tried it myself real quick on my really old iPhone 12 Pro, and it's nice with updated animations, updated fonts, new dials everywhere instead of sliders, and an overall refreshed UI that does look super nice. So hopefully we get something similar for Android, but in its current state, I'm gonna say Snapseed is forgotten about on Android, at least for now. That said, if you are using Android, you should still be using this anyway, whether you have the redesign or not. For one, it has a dead simple UI with an intuitive workflow, so anyone can dive in to make somewhat complex edits. Capability-wise, for a photo editor, there are a ton of features here with over 25 different selections to tweak an image, from simple things like adjusting exposure, highlights, and shadows to more complicated aspects like healing tools to remove unwanted objects, selection tools to apply enhancements only to a specific area of the photo, and lens blur for creating bokeh effects. Plus, there's even a handful of more advanced features like raw file support, which is great for better editing flexibility, as well as the ability to go back and adjust a specific step of the editing process so you don't have to start all over if you make a mistake. And did I mention it was 100% free, by the way, with no ads on top of it, something incredibly rare in the app ecosystem these days. To me, Snapseed was, is, and still continues to be one of the best free photo editing apps out there. So if you haven't tried it out yourself yet, redesign or not, give it a shot. I think a lot of you will really like it out there. The next Google app I'd consider to be massively underrated is PhotoScan. And on a broad level, this app is developed by the Google Photos team and is designed to help you digitize your old printed photos by using your smartphone camera. This app is also completely free, by the way, and off topic, I really miss this era of Google when they made good stuff for free with no strings attached, just a useful product with nothing else to it. Anyways, PhotoScan is great because it has so many features that make it genuinely helpful. It works by scanning your physical photo at multiple angles, where the app does help you with a guided tutorial. Then PhotoScan will stitch those images together to create one solid image. And because of this multiple photo capture process, you can remove glare that can appear during the capture process, crop images automatically, and correct any perspective distortion so the photo appears as a straight rectangular scan. Not to mention, PhotoScan automatically uploads them to Google Photos, which is insanely useful for getting your old physical media transferred directly over digitally as seamlessly as possible. But since it's in Google Photos, it can automatically be organized or put into one of their scrapbooks if you wanted to turn it into a gift, which is pretty cool. Overall, I absolutely love PhotoScan, especially as a free service, and if you're someone like me with a ton of physical media that you're trying to preserve, check it out, as I think it will make your life a lot more convenient for you. Obviously, this isn't a professional grade program by any means, but for casual family photos, this is super underrated. One of my absolute favorites on this list is the Gallery Go app by Google, which is a free, lightweight, completely offline gallery app, and I actually download this on every single Android device I ever use. I know on Pixel devices and many Android devices actually, Google Photos is probably encouraged or expected to be the default gallery app, but I look at it more as a service to access my entire photo library, where an offline gallery app is more for local images stored on my actual device, and I personally like avoid the separation between my cloud-based images and the ones that I store locally. And that's one of the reasons I install Gallery Go on all of my Android devices, whether that's Nothing, OnePlus, Samsung, even Pixel as well, because it's free, lightweight, doesn't rely on Wi-Fi, and I like having a familiar gallery on any device I use, no matter the manufacturer. But also, the UI is dead simple, with a Photos tab to see your entire library with some tags at the top for commonly accessed themes, and a Folders tab that organizes your photos into folders depending on where they came from, and that's it really. No frills, no strings attached, just a simple, no-nonsense gallery app that fits right into whatever Android device you're using, and I highly recommend you take a look at it when you get a chance if Google Photos seems too cluttered for you, let's say. Next up is one of my classic old, tried and true, reliable apps that has brought me through some tough times. As a young, broke person, this app was a savior back in the day, and I'm talking about Google Opinion Rewards. It's a relatively straightforward app that lets users complete short surveys in exchange for Google Play Store credit, which you can then use to buy whatever you want from the Play Store, like apps, games, movies, books, in-app purchases, and I've seen some people even save up to pay for Google services themselves, like YouTube Premium or the Play Pass, as a few examples. The UI is clean, you can earn credit by uploading your receipts or completing surveys, and that's really it. Nothing too crazy, as the entire premise is pretty straightforward. Earn credits by doing the surveys. The app is simple to use, making it easy to do them in your spare time, and there's no strings attached really. Just do the surveys and get the credit. Over the years, I've been able to make so many purchases because of this, especially when I was a young teenager with no consistent income. There was so many apps I was able to buy thanks to this, so huge shout out to Google Opinion Rewards, and I hope some of you can get some good use out of it. Last but not least, this final app is definitely in need of an update, but it's still a good one with the classic Google Wallpapers app. The last update I can see on the Play Store was in August or September of 2020, so almost 5 years ago at the time of this recording. So needless to say, it's probably in need of some major changes hopefully soon. But for those who don't know, Google Wallpapers is an official application by Google designed to give Android users a wide variety of wallpapers. It features a pretty diverse collection with hundreds of wallpapers over 10 different categories, from general art to Google Earth images and everything in between. And that's really the biggest feature of this app. The selection is carefully curated, and pretty much all these wallpapers do look visually appealing in my opinion. There are a few features you should know though, like the ability to automatically change the wallpaper each day from a specific category to keep things fresh, and hey, I mean, it is ad-free, so that's another plus. Otherwise, it's an incredibly basic wallpaper app. I do think they need to update the selection and add more features, like maybe AI generation modes and better resolution for wallpapers in general perhaps, but overall, it's a classic app within the Android community that I've seen so much over the years, and it's still worth grabbing wallpapers from this app to this day. And that, my friends, are some of the best, most forgotten Google apps on the Play Store right now, and while maybe a little bit outdated, I'm still happy to see that they're still around, alive and kicking. I have a lot of nostalgia for this era in Google where I feel like they pushed out a lot of really good services just for the sake of it, and I hope we see more stuff like this continue going on in the future. With that said, what are your thoughts on some of these apps? Are there any Google apps that you still use that I didn't cover in this video? Let me know down in the comment section down below, as I'd love to hear what the Android community is thinking. Until next time, this has been Jordan Floyd from 9to5 Google. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.